In this video, we present a raw side-by-side comparison of the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S23, showcasing their respective performances. If you're interested in a more comprehensive analysis, head over to my main YouTube channel for in-depth commentary and a detailed review of both devices. Links to those videos will be provided in the description below. Sit back and enjoy the uncut, unfiltered comparison.
So right now I'm filming at 4K 30 frames per second, and I've turned off video stabilization since both these smartphone cameras are mounted on a tripod. Now, how is the microphone? I'm going to be speaking in an untreated room, and it's relatively small, so there's probably going to be a lot of echo and reverb, so that's going to be a stress test. However, there's a decent amount of lighting, but there's no centered lighting on my face, so it's not going to really pick me out specifically. I'm also filming with the main highest quality sensor, which is the middle, about 24mm fill frame equivalent middle sensor. So how does it look? Testing mic at 4K 30 frames per second. So now I switched to the 3x telephoto zoom on the S23 and the digital 3x telephoto zoom on the S20. So how does this picture quality look? Do you see more detail on my face on the S20 or the S23? Please let me know in the comment section down below. So while I'm recording 4K 30 frames per second, I'm able to switch between all the different field of views, or the three sensors, from ultra wide to wide to the telephoto zoom lens. So how does the ultra wide look? You're gonna get more of this view. Testing mic, 1, 2, 3. So right now I'm speaking into the S20 and the S23, and I'm using the front facing camera, the selfie camera. And this is the first time since the S20 or even earlier where we got an actual upgrade to the selfie camera. It has more megapixels, from 10 to 12 megapixels. So do you notice any differences in the video quality when I'm speaking into it? Obviously, I've turned off video stabilization since this is not on a tripod. So yeah, testing mic, 1, 2, 3. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I'm a little bit closer to the camera this time, so that should pick up my voice a little bit better. If you want to do a little bit of a product showcase, how does this look? So both on the S20, S23, I have portrait video mode enabled. How does the background separation look? Is it a little bit better on the S23 thanks to the increased ISP, the image signal processor? How does it look? Right now I switched to Pro Video, and this should help avoid any weird post-processing like crazy HDR or crazy white balance differentiation between these two cameras. Obviously, the auto mode is the mode we probably use the most when we're using video. We want to use these phones as quick point and shoot capturing devices. But the pro mode is nice because you can just lock things like the ISO, the shutter, and the white balance, stuff like that. So maybe this is a more apples to apples comparison between these two cameras. Now, one thing I do want to note on the older device, the S20, is that you don't have the option of a telephoto mode when you're using Pro Video. So you can only get that on the S23, which is a nice added touch. So I'm still in Pro mode, but this time I switched to the ultra wide lens on both these cameras. Like I said before, telephoto is not available on the S20, the older phone, so we can't test those apples to apples. But how does this look? Are things a little bit more sharper when we're using the S23? I hope it is, because that's what I saw when I was looking at the images. So right now I'm speaking into the S20 and the S23. We're filming at 4K ultra high definition at 30 frames per second in a pretty well lit indoor environment. It's not too dark inside here. And I was pretty stunned by the results of the previous test I did in a different room, where the S23 in this mode looked really bad. So I'm refilming it, hoping that it looks a little bit better in this situation, at least versus the S20, because in that situation, it just looked really kind of blurry, didn't look really good. So what I've changed is, instead of using HEVC codec, I'm just using the normal H.264 codec, because that's the one that I tried and tested before. Hopefully that is the culprit of the poor picture quality, because maybe the HEVC is causing some degradation in the video quality. Okay, so now we're at 3x zoom. I'm really far away. I think you can barely make out my face. And yeah, how does this look compared to the S20, S23? And obviously I'm going to be really far away, so maybe the microphone is going to be a little bit different. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So now we're in ultra wide. So how does the sharpness look in this setting? Obviously the S23 is going to be sharper, but let's see how much of a difference it is. Okay, so now we're filming portrait video, and I'm going to do another test. I think the S23 in the previous test
won by a lot. I think the picture quality looked a lot better on the S23, but let's do another test here. And let's make sure that my blurry edge detection on my hair looks a lot better in one of these phones. So now I switched to HEVC codec because I'm filming in HDR10 plus. So all the video settings are a little bit confusing. Apparently there's always going to be auto HDR regardless if I have it enabled in H.264 or HEVC. But in this setting, this is a different type of auto HDR. It's HDR10 plus, so it has to be filmed in HEVC. So yeah, like I said, there's just so many options and combinations. It's very confusing. The experience of using a Samsung camera can be a little bit bewildering, to say the least. But let's see how this compares with the previous shots where I was shooting with the main sensor and I wasn't in this mode of this HDR10 plus. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Oh, I'm doing super steady. Super steady.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the full review, and if you want a deeper dive into this video and the image tests, make sure to watch the commentary video. I actually go into more analysis on still photos. If you have any questions, let me know. See you in the next video.